Hello, I'm wearing an orange sweater. My t-shirt was the same color as the wall, so I thought I would wear this high-vis sweater so it doesn't look like my head is floating. You're welcome for saving you from the spooks. And also welcome to Rabona TV's Weekend Recap. I'm your host, Manajwang. And a big thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring the Weekend Recap. The absolute legends there have a legendary app that you can download for free using the link in the description, so do that. And you'll get access to the fastest breaking news surrounding the teams and competitions you give a damn about, as well as live scores, match tickers, great articles, highlights, and more, only on iOS and Android. Link in the description. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Well, how about a bonus league? You guys remember France? That ring any bells? Liga? No? Well, the Liga is a fun league that has recently been completely taken over by PSG. And I haven't checked in there lately, so I thought I would check in and see if anything had... Oh, nope. Still dominated by PSG. They won 4-0 this weekend against Saint-Etienne. Kylian Mbappé scored twice to take him to 70 Ligue goals in record time. He hit 70 at the age of 20 years and 359 days, just before his 21st birthday. The previous record, Bernard Lacombe, who hit 7 at the age of 22 and 163 days, so he destroyed him. As far as the rest of the squad goes, in case you've been curious, Neymar has been involved in 9 goals and 9 starts with 6 goals and 3 assists, while Mauro Icardi is finding life pretty easy with the Parisians, 8 goals and 1 assist in 10 appearances, 7 of which were starts. Di Maria is continuing to kill it for them, etc., as you would expect with PSG. The rest of the league, Marseille are much better than they were last season, and this weekend they, well, not the greatest result, a 1-1 draw with Metz, who are hanging out near the bottom of the table, but hey, Andre Villas-Boas, nice to see you again. Lyon, they have improved upon 14th, where they were a few weeks ago, but with a loss to Rennes this weekend, they're still in 9th place. Perhaps their biggest loss, though, was Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay. He could be out for a long time. He's a massive part of this team, so yeah, bon chance, mes amis. I will say it's nice to see Lille still doing well this season, not just a one-season wonder. And it's nice to see Renato playing well for them and scoring goals again. Bayern really f***ed his career up, left way too early. I'll be saying that until the day I die. Renato left too early. Renato left too early. Renato left too early. So yeah, PSG with a 7-point lead and a game in hand, so that could well be a 10-point lead there soon. Okay? To the draw. Bonus competition now. I am spoiling you guys this week. Take it away, Editor Adrian. Hey, yes, thank you. Let's do it. Looking at the UCL draw first and then the Europa League draw. I won't do my predictions just yet, as there could be massive outcome-changing injuries, transfers in January, and changes in form from now until February. So here are the matchups, just in case you missed them. I'll do my predictions in February, early February or something. So in the Champions League, the first matchup is Borussia Dortmund versus PSG. Thomas Tuchel playing his former club. Then we have Real Madrid versus Man City. Atalanta versus Valencia, nice and balanced there. Atletico taking on defending champions Liverpool. Chelsea versus Bayern, a rematch of the 2012 final. Lyon taking on Juventus. Tottenham versus Leipzig, that's a nice little matchup as well. And Napoli versus Barcelona. That's a harsh matchup for Gennaro Gattuso for his first foray into the Champions League. Then in the Europa League, we have Wolves taking on Espanyol, Sporting taking on Istanbul Başakşehir, Getafe versus Ajax, Leverkusen versus FC Porto, Copenhagen versus Celtic, Apoel versus Basel, Cluj versus Sevilla, Olympiacos versus Arsenal. That could be an interesting one for Arsenal. I expect them to get through, but don't sleep on Olympiacos. AZ Alkmaar versus Lask, Club Brugge versus Man United, Ludogorets versus Inter, sorry Ludogorets, Frankfurt versus Salzburg, that is a fun matchup, Shakhtar versus Benfica, Wolfsburg versus Malmo, Roma versus Ghent, and Rangers versus Braga. Back to management. Alright, thank you, Editor Adrian. Let's start in Italy for once and give some love to Cristiano Ronaldo, who he led Juve to a 3-1 win over Udinese, scoring a brace to bring his tally to 9 goals in the Serie A. He could have had another, had the woodwork not thwarted him in the 84th minute. Same goes for Dybala, as he could have had a goal as well just after the half, but he too hit the woodwork. A solid performance from Juve, one that they needed after some drab matches in the last couple of weeks. So Ronaldo's brace means that he has become the first player in history of the top 5 leagues to score in double digits for 15 consecutive seasons. Also, a nice moment, when Higuain was subbed off, he gave the armband to Ronaldo, and Ronaldo immediately went and gave it to Matuidi before he even put it on. Very kind. Napoli have a new manager, but still some problems. No new manager bounce just yet for Gennaro Gattuso. The circumstances for his first match in charge were favorable as well, as Napoli played at home against Parma, but they started quite poorly, and just 4 minutes in, Kulusevski put the visitors ahead. Not ideal. Even less ideal, Koulibaly went off injured following that play. That's a massive loss for them. In the second half, Milik scored his 4th in just 2 matches across all competitions, but he's also scored in 5 consecutive matches. Unfortunately for him and the Napoli boys, they conceded late, like 93rd minute late, to good old Gervinho, assisted by Kulusevski. What a match he had. 2-1 Parma over Napoli. It's been 1 match for Gattuso, so give the guy some time, you know? Even with the loss, there were periods where Napoli looked much better than they did under Ancelotti. By the way, I have a video on why Ancelotti would be a poor fit for Arsenal and Everton, in my opinion. If you want to watch that, go ahead. Roma made it 4 matches unbeaten as they defeated Spal at home. A second half remontada. They were just 1-0 down to the half, but Mkhitaryan, Perotti, and an own goal from Tomovic gave the Romans the win. Their crosstown rivals, Lazio, just an FYI, they don't play until today, and that's going to be a great matchup. The 2 longest unbeaten runs going up against each other. Lazio's 10 matches unbeaten, 7 straight wins up against Cagliari's 13 unbeaten. Anyways, to the teams that have played already, Inter versus Fiorentina was a big boy matchup, and wouldn't you know it, it would be a former Viola player, Borja Valero, who would put Inter in front after just 8 minutes. A nice through ball from Brozovic saw the Argentinian cut inside and send Dragovski the wrong way, 1-0 Inter. This was truly a boring match. Inter are not an exciting team this season. Remember Conte's Chelsea in their title-winning season? They aren't nearly as exciting as that. In fact, Fiorentina managed to stifle them pretty easily in this match, and in the 91st minute, substitute 19-year-old Serbian Dusan Vlahovic ripped a strike into the back of the net that Handanovic really should have done better with, I think. Decent strike, but Handanovic should have saved it, in my opinion, given his ability. So 1-1 there. Inter take a turn to drop points, and they're now level on points with Juventus. Lazio have a chance to cut Inter's lead on them to just 3 points today. Roma grab hold of 4th, and Atalanta fall to 6th after their loss. All hail the future champions, Real Sociedad. They're coming for you, Barcelona. They're coming for you, Real Madrid. They are relentless, and they will not stop until they are top of the table come May. It's going to happen. Watch out. This week, they were put to the test against one of the best, FC Barcelona, playing at home in San Sebastian, and the hosts took the lead thanks to a penalty in the 12th minute. However, their former player, Antoine Griezmann, scored in the 38th. Great transition from Barcelona, and Griezmann finished with a dinked finish. Finally, Griezmann is looking like he fits into the Barcelona attack. 6 goals and 4 assists from 14 appearances. Involved in 4 goals in his last 5 matches. Not bad. Suarez then gave Barcelona the lead after the half, but again, don't sleep on Sociedad, as Alex Isak brought them level. He needed that goal as much as Sociedad did, his first since October 27th. Sociedad controlled the match fairly well in the second half, and it ended 2-2. A good point for them. Sevilla suffered their first loss since the beginning of October, well, first loss in La Liga, as they also lost this past week in Europa against Apoel. Not a good week for them. Playing at home against Villarreal, they absolutely peppered the visitors, but they didn't create many meaningful scoring opportunities. They launched a lot of strikes on goal, yes, but the majority of them were blocked, while the rest were off target. I mean, 24 shots, 5 on target? Eesh, bad. Bad. Akambi with the winner in the 75th minute, 2-1 Villarreal, their first win in 6 matches. And finally, with Barcelona dropping points, Real Madrid went away to the Mestalla to take on a high-flying Valencia team that recently eliminated Ajax from the Champions League. Not an easy task, that is, eliminating Ajax, nor is it an easy task for Real Madrid to defeat Valencia, but Real are getting stronger and stronger, and they dominated this match. Despite that, in the 78th and against the run of play, Valencia's Soler latched onto an uncontested cutback to put them ahead. A bit harsh on Real, but later, of course, Karim Benzema would come to the rescue in the 95th minute. Thibaut Courtois went forward for the corner, and his header forced a save out of Domenech, but Benzema pounced on the rebound to level. 1 won the final, so both of the top teams drop points ahead of their match on Wednesday, but they still lead at the top of the table. Oh yeah, I said finally before, but Atletico Madrid got a routine 2-0 win over Osasuna. Not really a routine win for them actually, as their routine is more like, 1-1 or 0-0. Kieran Trippier found Morata with a cross for Atleti to take the lead, then Saúl Ñíguez made it 2-0 in the 75th, but it's not like Osasuna went down easily. They gave Atletico plenty of issues, but suffered in opportunity generation. So, that win moved Atletico back up to 5th with Sociedad right behind them, but thankfully Atletico still have more draws than wins, so everything is right in the world. Barcelona and Real, as I said, are level with 35 points apiece. Sevilla fall 4 points behind them after that loss. Bundesliga. Let's all Bundesliga together. But I do have some bad news for all of you who are taking the weekend recap officially supported teams seriously, like Real Sociedad. Which most of you aren't, I'm sure. But for real, Borussia Mönchengladbach have lost. I regret to inform you that the most beautiful team in the league suffered a loss this weekend at the hands of VfL Wolfsburg in a very heartbreaking fashion. A 92nd minute goal scored by Maximilian Arnold to give the host Wolfsburg the win. But hey, Borussia Mönchengladbach played pretty poorly anyway, in my opinion. One positive, I guess that their finishing was accurate, but not deadly. 5 shots, 5 on target, 100%. 1 goal though. Deserved win for Wolfsburg. Perhaps the pressure was too much for them, having to watch Bayern Munich on Saturday, who hosted Werder Bremen, albeit a struggling Bremen side, and absolutely clapped their cheeks with a 6-1 slammy. Lewandowski was back among the goals after going on a goal-scoring vacation for a couple of matches. He scored a brace, but Philippe Coutinho grabbed a hat trick and 2 assists. Dude went insane in this match. That's a goal involvement of 6 in his last 2 matches. Huge win. Another huge performance from Alphonso Davies at left back. Sitting next to Alaba at center back. Dudes lock it down. You got the king and the prince right next to him. So that must have put some nerves in Mönchengladbach, as did Borussia Dortmund's 4-0 win over Mainz on Saturday. Another match, another Jadon Sancho goal as he scored and assisted. He scored in 6 matches consecutively for Dortmund now, ever since he was embarrassingly subbed off in the 36th minute against Bayern Munich. His 3rd man of the match performance since that embarrassment. And then, of course, Mönchengladbach also had to watch their main competitors, RB Leipzig, get a competent 3-0 victory over Fortuna Düsseldorf. The host Düsseldorf never really had a chance in this one, as they were played off the park by Leipzig. Timo Werner with a goal, Schick scored as well, and Mukiele Sabitzer, he didn't score, but he got an assist. 11 goals and 7 assists for him this season, while Timo Werner is having an insane season, 21 goals and 9 assists. Will definitely be the hottest commodity next summer. Also, before we look at the standings, I gotta give some love to Union Berlin. The newly promoted side in their historic Bundesliga season are sitting in 10th at the moment, just 5 points out of the Europa League qualifying spot. Wow. Oh, and of course, another great result this week. FC Köln, currently fighting against relegation, got a massive 2-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen. So, looking at the table now, we have a new leader. RB Leipzig have taken a 2-point lead over Mönchengladbach. Dortmund move into 3rd, while Schalke won once again, so they're a point above Bayern. God, I love the Bundesliga, man. It's so damn competitive. It's such a refreshing league. Until you look at who's won it for the last 7 seasons. All right, Premier League to finish things off. Spurs versus Wolves was the match I personally was looking forward to the most this weekend. You have a Spurs side that is still transitioning under their new manager, Mourinho, while Wolves are absolutely flying. Coming into this one, they were on an 11-match unbeaten run in the Prem that propelled them towards the top 4. Not into the top 4, but they were milling around outside the top 4, that's for sure. Anyway, Tottenham took the lead pretty early with a strike that caught Rui Patricio off guard. Take nothing away from the strike from Lucas, but I know Patricio is capable of saving shots like that. It was a pretty entertaining match though, as a whole. I loved this. Nice and open, holes at the back for both sides. Wolves were finding a lot of joy attacking down Tottenham's right, as expected, as that's the side that Sanchez and Aurier are on. Those boys are very, very happy to make a mistake once or twice per match, maybe 3-4 times. But that said, it was actually a lack of pressure from Vertonghen that led to Traore's equalizer that screamed past Gazzaniga. Brilliant strike from Traore, who's having a fantastic season in comparison to the last. 1-1, and you got the feeling that Wolves would go on to win it, playing at home, and with Spurs still recovering from their final 15-minute collapses that they were having earlier this season, ever so regularly. But credit to them, Eriksen floated in a great ball from the corner, and Vertonghen was able to pick out the bottom corner with a low header. 2-1 Tottenham, Wolves' unbeaten streak is over, and Spurs have secured 12 of 15 points since Mourinho has taken over at the club. And who do they play next? Chelsea. That is going to be very, very fun. United played at home against Everton, and Everton adopted the classic sit back and let them struggle tactic that so many teams have used against United to great effect this season, and yet United still hasn't found a way around it. They really can't deal with the low block. So, once Everton took the lead in the 36th minute via a Lindelof OG, it was sit back season, baby. However, Mr. Greenwood, wow. Great run of form from the recently turned 18-year-old. Goals in consecutive matches for him. 3 in 2 appearances, 2 in the Prem, 4 in Europa League, and a goal in the League Cup. 7 for him at the senior level this season. But unfortunately for Ollie, as I was saying earlier, another example of him not having a plan B against teams that sit deep. And unfortunately for Mwaza Ken, he was embarrassed by Duncan Ferguson when he was subbed on in the 70th and subbed off in the 89th. I do understand that he was poor when he came on and a little bit lethargic on the pitch, but you know that taking him off as a 19-year-old playing in a new country for the first time where he has indeed struggled, you know that it is absolutely going to put his confidence on the floor if you haul him off 19 minutes after putting him on. So was he poor? Yes, but Ferguson's player management was even worse in this case. He could have hauled off someone else, then chewed him out in private in the dressing room, not in front of everyone, and then don't even acknowledge him when he comes off. It sucks. I feel for the kid. Speaking of poor though, Chelsea fans, look away. What a shit run Chelsea is on right now. They elevated their poor Premier League record to 4 losses in their last 5 matches after a 1-0 loss to free-falling Bournemouth. Bournemouth were on a 5-match losing skid prior to facing Chelsea. At Stamford Bridge. Damn! Bournemouth found some joy on the counter in the second half, while Chelsea were left frustrated throughout the match. And in the 84th minute, Dan Gosling was left completely alone after a corner. Initially, it was called back for offside, but VAR came to the rescue for Bournemouth, and Gosling's goal stood. Well taken, nice little flick over his head, and a much-needed win for Bournemouth. More pain for Franco Lampardo. Arsenal versus Manchester City. This game was over after just 40 minutes, and from there, Manchester City just took this match at a canter. Depressing scenes around the Emirates in the second half, with fans leaving up to 15 minutes before time was up. And Arsenal were hopeless, man. They had 1 shot on target in the entirety of the match. And that was after 28 seconds. From 28 seconds into the match, all the way to 90 minutes plus, they didn't have a single shot on target. Then De Bruyne grabbed hold of Arsenal and absolutely thrashed them. He scored in the 2nd minute, then set up Sterling, then scored a 3rd himself in the 40th. Brilliant performance from the Ginger Assassin and an easy 3 points for City. Leicester versus Norwich was probably the surprise of the weekend. Leicester coming into this match in hot fire form, while Norwich have had a bit of a wobble after their fast and furious start to the season, which has seen them drop to the relegation places. But Pukki has consistently banged in the goals for Norwich, and he did so early away to Leicester, his 9th of this Premier League season. Some misfortune for Krul, however, brought Leicester level, and you can't say Leicester didn't deserve a goal here, or at least the result here. 1-1 the final, Vardy fails to score, so he will not be breaking his Premier League goals in consecutive matches record, and Leicester drop points for the first time in 8 matches. Their 8-match winning streak comes to an end. How about the leaders Liverpool? Could they take advantage? Well, they extended their winning run across all competitions to 5 matches with a 2-0 victory over Watford. Could have been more if Mane's skin cells hadn't been offside, but late on, Mo Salah absolutely embarrassed Kabasele with a casual flick through his legs to make it 2-0. Kabasele had been playing quite well in that match prior to it, and the second goal shouldn't damage how his performance will be viewed. It will more just damage his pride, I think. So, Liverpool now have a 10-point lead, City are 14 points behind them, wow, and Chelsea, they gotta watch their back, Tottenham are now just 3 points behind them. What a difference a month makes, and they play each other next, remember, and also United are 4 points outside of the top 4. And me, I'll be in the relegation zone soon if I don't start editing this video. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate and love ya. And I hope that you have a great Monday or Tuesday if you're watching this late. Cool? My name's Adrian. Love ya. See you in the next video. Peace.